Hi everyone, it's Benny once again, and welcome back to Benny's Hub. So I noticed that, okay, I tell everyone my name is Benny, and so today I'd like to do a quick introduction. My full name is Priye Benedicta Obozua, and I reside in Ontario, Canada. I'm a mother of four amazing kids and wonderful friends. I'm an entrepreneur and a work from home mother. I started last year to figure out ways to be productive while being at home and being available for my kids. It hasn't been an easy journey, but I've come to a place where I finally kind of understand what it takes and what I need to do. I set up different structures that actually work for me. I've been able to implement some strategies I got from certain people who have mentored me in the last few months, and it's been an amazing journey. So today, last week I went to see a friend on Saturday. My friend just had a baby, so I went to see her like after not coming out in a long while because of COVID-19. And believe me, it felt so good. The fresh air, driving. I had a long drive with my friends and we had fun. And this season has made things that usually would be normal seem like now we need to appreciate those moments. I just realized you need to appreciate the time you spend with those you love, the time you spend with those who are there for you, who are willing to go the extra mile. We're social beings, so definitely being an island locked up in your house isn't easy. I know the pandemic took a toll on many people, even if it didn't physically, it took a toll mentally. People who are used to being out there, used to being networking and being with, there's many people like that. They have many friends or they know many people, and then suddenly you just have to be in this one space by yourself. It wasn't an easy journey. Hopefully the world will open up soon, and honestly I'm really over it. So that being said, that doesn't stop us from being productive, from trying, from working hard, taking advantage of the resources available to us. Until we're able to do that, then it will be hard for the world to throw you in just any direction it wants to, because you really don't want the world to keep flinging you in different directions. You have to devise a means where you, your family, and your business can adapt to rapidly changing environments. Adaptability is a very important issue, and we have to now more than ever take it seriously. So to the topic of today I want to talk about before you launch your Amazon store, Checklist Canada. So this checklist is mainly for Canadian Amazon store owners or prospective Amazon store owners. You're thinking of launching your store, you're thinking of starting an online business, and you're considering putting your store or your business on Amazon. These are the things you have to put in place before you can start. It's not just a click of a button. There are things you really have to consider, things you have to put in place before you can start selling. Number one on my list is to either make sure you're a registered business or a sole proprietor with proper status. Make sure you're a registered business or a sole proprietor with proper status. So Amazon finds it easy to identify who you are and easy to sort out taxes. In most cases, you'll be asked for your social insurance number or your business number. You have to have that in place before you think of opening a store, because upon registration you'll be required to provide these details, and until you can do that, you wouldn't be able to proceed with the registration, right? The second on the list is to have a checking account. that can receive ACH payments. So most Canadian checking accounts can receive ACH payments. You also want an account that wouldn't want to cut your neck off with fees, right? So the best for me, I have an account on I have an account with TD for my Shopify store, but then my account for my Amazon store, I use RBC, and it's the flexible, what is it called again? Flexible planner. So it just costs me $6 a month in fees, and I have unlimited digital payments, so I don't have to pay for any transactions. The only transactions I pay for are my transfers out of the account, which is quite understandable because I'm already paying low account fees already monthly, so it only makes sense. And then you have to have your tax code for your harmonized sales tax, especially if you're in a province that has both provincial taxes and Canada federal taxes. So you have to have that code from the Canada Revenue Agency if you're working as a registered business. But then if you're running your store as an individual, your social insurance number would do. But if you're running your store as a sole proprietor with a registered business, then you have to have your tax code. Make sure you contact the Canada Revenue Agency, and they will be more than happy to create one for you, and a business account where you can file your taxes and track your payments online. After that, you have to look for the product. You have to look for what to sell and what people are willing to buy. I'm not saying, people just say, oh, everyone is buying this and they rush to it, but then you have saturation issues. Don't forget, Amazon is the biggest marketplace in the entire world right now. It's the biggest digital marketplace. So even if they tell you something is selling, make sure there's not a saturation of sellers. If you have so many sellers for one product, there's every chance that you wouldn't make sales, because then you have very stiff competition, right? So most times when you're selecting a product, you have to think of something that people need, but they're not, that is also not readily available. So then if you say, people will need TVs, right? Of course, people move into houses every day, people buy televisions, but then for electronics, there's so much saturation. I had to laugh because it's really funny. Like thousands of sellers, so it's probably going to take you like 4 or 5 months to sell one TV, because there's so many people before you, and there's so much competition that before you even are on the first page or of the Amazon or consider the Prime product, it's going to take a long while for you to prove yourself out of the midst of 1,000+ sellers. You don't want to put yourself in that position. So look for simple things and things that are not capital intensive since you're just starting, so you don't break the bank. Because I know money isn't easy to come by, money isn't easy to save, money isn't easy to earn, so money shouldn't be so easily squandered or spent. Make sure you do your product research, right? And then you have to get, if your products are not barcoded, like you go into maybe private label, like I'm into private labeling as well, and I had to get myself a code for my products, since my products are not, number one, produced here, number two, they're not barcoded. So because they don't have a barcode, then I have to get a code, purchase it online for my business, and I have to, there are different prices for it, so depending on the number of products you're going to apply that code to, that's what you get charged to. There's a link on the Amazon registration site that redirects you to where you can buy this code, or you can just simply Google it. If you Google it, you would get the information. So you have to get the unique code tied to your business if your goods aren't already barcoded, which most times goods come and they're not barcoded, especially when you make them outside of the country. And then you have to order your inventory. And for those people planning to use Amazon for drop shipping, then you have to organize your drop shipping inventory. Make the proper contacts and connections with the vendors or your suppliers. Make sure that they're aware that you're drop shipping with Amazon. Make sure that you're well connected with them, and you constantly stay in communication with them so they don't think you've run off, and they can kind of prioritize your orders when they come in. I'm not really a big fan of using Amazon for drop shipping, but some people do it, and the reason why I would say it's not really the best idea is the shipping time. So because Amazon is not in charge of your inventory, usually from the supplier or the manufacturer, it might take like 2-3 weeks for delivery, and sometimes people aren't that patient. The ones who are willing to save on price might be patient, because of course then it's cheaper if you drop ship. But then if you already have your inventory, you've invested some of your money, and your inventory is already being fulfilled by Amazon, then people get your products fast. And once people all see that your product is always available, you get more orders, you get more reviews, and the more clicks you get, the more orders you get, the more reviews you get, the faster your store sells, and the more growth you will experience as a seller. But it comes with fees. It comes with, you have to advertise, you have to pay Amazon a part of your profits because of inventory. Of course, they're not going to fulfill your inventory for free. That wouldn't happen. So you have to, by any means possible, make sure that you're clear on what direction you want to go. And like I said, the product also matters a lot. Make sure you don't go into something that you find your inventory there for like a year, because you will get charged if along the line you're not even making sales. So it's bad for business. Always do your product research. Don't overstock up on inventory. Don't take inventory and, like some people would go for a certain product that might be seasonal without doing proper research, and invest tens of thousands of dollars into that product, and in the long run it would affect you. It would really affect you. So you don't want to find yourself in a place where you can't sell, and then your product is seasonal, and then it's not in demand, and then it just totally goes out of trend. That would be very bad for any business, regardless of if it's Amazon or any other business. You don't want to find yourself in that situation. Trust me, it sucks. So you have to be clear, and you have to apply a lot of wisdom, right? And then the next one I'd like to highlight on is, when your inventory is ready, ship directly to Amazon warehouse. So you don't have to necessarily bring your inventory to your house. Make sure you get a sample from the manufacturer before they send the product to you, so you can have an idea of what the quality is. And make sure you ship directly to Amazon warehouse. So you're asking for that sample, so you know exactly what you're getting. If you can, for those of you who order through Alibaba or AliExpress, if you can get like a quality assurance person to go, you can pay just, I think it's about $250. I don't know now, but it's about, when I checked, it was $250, and they check it for you, they check the quality, and they give you an okay or a no. So you can go back and forth with your manufacturer and say, okay, no, can you tweak this? Can you fix this? No, this is not what I was expecting. So from the sample and from the QA person, you are able to know exactly what it is you're getting before you serve it to your customers as a seller. So you can do that and ship your inventory directly to the warehouse once you have confirmed and done your quality checks and assurance and all of that. Ship directly to the warehouse, because it's hectic if you have to ship it to you and then from wherever you reside start sending it to the warehouse. It's harder for you. So I would advise that you don't go down that road. And then also, when it gets to the warehouse, okay, make sure you track from when it leaves your manufacturer to its final destination, so you don't have your goods missing in transit. And if you can afford any type of insurance just to protect yourself, because it's not impossible, it's rare. I mean, courier services and shipping companies are actually much more organized, and because of the inventions that have come into play and then technology, use of technology, it's easier really for your goods not to get lost. But it's not impossible. It happens. There are crazy people out there that might just divert your goods, you know, for your own safety. If you can afford like insurance from, because I think some courier companies like DHL offers you something in case your goods get lost, some form of insurance. Or you can speak with your manufacturer and ask them, do they have any kind of insurance? Can they attach any insurance to the goods before they depart from their warehouse? So you have to make sure that you protect yourself. You have to protect yourself, because for some strange reason the world is crazier than ever. People who steal are much smarter. It's not funny, but it's funny in the real sense. Like it does happen, and you have situations where people never receive something they pay thousands of dollars for, and it's very painful because people actually do take out loans for their businesses, and you have to pay back a loan where your business is supposed to service the loan. Then there's no business and there's no money and there's nothing, and it just puts you in a very bad place. So protecting yourself at a very little cost isn't so bad. It's a very good idea actually, because the things we take for granted are the things that along the line you find out are very important for you and your business, for your own sanity as well as a human being. Because if you lose goods worth thousands of dollars and you lose so much money, you won't be okay. You will definitely lose your mind. I really never want to find myself in that situation where I have to lose my mind over money, over business, over anything. I would, oh my goodness. But not that losses never happen, but at least you don't want those major losses. If you can prevent a major loss, I know why I'm emphasizing on it, because many business men and women take it for granted. If you can, as much as you can, protect yourself at a very little cost, please by all means take advantage of the opportunity so you don't find yourself in a very bad place. Some manufacturers actually also provide some form of guarantee, so if you don't get your goods, they are willing to replace them. There are not many. Some are very trickish. They don't want the extra cost of having to please you. They don't even mind losing you. And if it's a situation where you've actually never been to their warehouse, you're just dealing with them online, then it's going to be much harder. So like I said, any form of protection whatsoever, please take advantage of it. Take serious advantage of it. And then after that, you can then set up your online store. So the reason why all these come before setting up your store or finally opening your store is you don't want a situation where your fees that you pay monthly is already counting, and then your goods haven't arrived and you still haven't you're not able to upload your inventory, you don't have a code, you've not sorted out all those things, and then you go ahead and open your store, and then the next thing you're paying monthly. It might take you about a month or two to have to get some of these things in place. So you pay 2 months worth of subscription, Amazon store subscription, for nothing. So put all this in place first before you open the store. And then when you set up the store, you'll be asked to put in your bank details, put in your inventory information, and upload everything, and finally launch the store. Your goods, when they get to the warehouse, Amazon would also alert you and inform you that your goods have arrived. And when your goods are ready and available for buyers to start ordering, you will also know from your account. Make sure you do these things. Don't rush. I know that making business decisions can be pretty exciting. So in that process, sometimes we make mistakes and we make decisions in a hurry. We don't do proper research, and then we find ourselves where we working for someone or being an employee. It's okay to kind of learn on the job. But with business, you don't really want to learn on the job. As much as you can, please don't put yourself in a situation where you have to learn on the job. I'm not saying you will not make mistakes, but anything you can do, like I always say, this is a very amazing time to be alive. There's so much information out there. You have no reason not to protect yourself or keep yourself or protect your business or seek proper information that applies to your niche. You have no reason not to, because there's information everywhere. There's Google is your best friend. There's Amazon. You can go on Amazon and have access to their resources concerning the Amazon business. There are people who have successfully tweaked this and are successful with their stores. There are people like that. You can reach out to them. You might have to pay though for those courses, but if you can, by any means possible, pay for those courses. I'm not saying pay exorbitant fees. You can even poll with some of your friends or some people in your networking space that are on the same page with you and say, okay, there's a course for say $1,000. I can't afford it alone. I'm looking for 5 other ladies or 3 other ladies who want to also take on this course. Is it possible for us to pull together and purchase this course, and then we can all have access to it whenever we need it? I know people pull now, because not everybody really has $1,000, $2,000 or $5,000 to bring out for a course. So those courses help, but don't go out of your way to just buy just any course. Anybody can just prepare a course now and launch it, so you have to be really careful. Make sure that whatever it is they're telling you, their numbers show it, because some people don't have the numbers and they just come and tell you do this, do that. There's so much, like I said, with plenty of information out there, there's also so much misguidance. So you're just going to be misguided if you go with the wrong person, and then you have your money down the drain, which can be really painful. Losses are very, very painful. You don't want to find yourself where you're losing money even before the business starts. So be careful with the kind of courses you get involved with. Start selling, and make sure while you're selling, you file your taxes as they come. You also make sure that you don't forget to organize your store. Constantly look at your inventory so that when you're going low, you can always reorder. Now, it's also advisable that you establish a relationship with 1 or 2 or 3 manufacturers where even when you don't have your upfront payment, they're willing to take part payment and take payment upon delivery, or they're willing to break down, give you a payment plan. I know some of those really big manufacturers in China are willing to give you a payment plan if they have a relationship with you. So they have to know you. You have to be their customer for a certain length of time. You have to order frequently, and they know that you always come back, and they've probably made enough money from you not to lose. So you have that option as well. And you have the option of ensuring that they too on their end always play their part. So don't waste your time with any supplier that is inefficient, has poor quality, and does not deliver on time. Don't waste your time. You don't need that type of drama in your space. You don't need that kind of drama in your space, trust me. Because even if you were to get angry and you're speaking and there's a language barrier, there's every chance that you're probably just screaming at your phone. You're screaming at your phone, yelling at someone, and the person really doesn't even understand half of what you're saying. And even if they do, they're going to play the ignorance card. So don't put yourself in compromising situations, because it's your money, it's your time, it's your sweat, it's your energy, it's even your idea, your wisdom, it's your implementation, it's everything. So don't put yourself in a compromising space, so you don't waste your energy and you don't waste your resources. It's very bad if you waste money, energy, and time at the same time for one purpose. It's very painful, because those 3 things you probably can never get back, especially your time. You wouldn't get those things back. You just lose them to inefficient people. So because we know you can never be an island, especially with business, you might as well protect yourself, like I said, and make sure you don't go into a compromising situation, because it's nobody with online business, nobody's really coming to bail you out. You just have to figure it out the best way you can. Nobody's coming to bail you out. Nobody's coming to say, hey, I'm going to give you money for all the goods you lost. Nobody sees you physically, so nobody really has any sentiments towards you. Probably only your family and friends who know that you had a huge loss. You're the only ones that are going to sympathize or empathize with you. And even with that, they are probably still not going to save you. So since you know that you are your only savior, you have to, by any means possible, protect yourself and avoid compromising positions. In that place where I know what I should be doing, that's my personal experience now, and I'm doing my best to implement what I've learned so far. But it's not the best position still. There are people I still very, very much look up to. I try to learn from. You see some of them on YouTube, they will tell you the nitty-gritty of the business, and if you can only just search. And yes, those of you watching this, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, oh my goodness, you have no clue what you're missing. So just click on the subscribe tab and make sure you hit the notification bell, and make sure you like this video, and also watch out for previous videos and videos coming up. Of course, if you set up your notifications, you would definitely know when something new comes up. And this is Benny's Hub, where we try to upskill through knowledge and information. It's also my safe and expressive space, and I also view this channel as my means of reaching out to the world, as a place where I can, talk to people, reach out to the world, and, have people's... I'm open to comments too as well. I want to hear your perspective. I would love to learn from you. If you could just comment down below and tell me, what do you think, or what ideas do you think, what better approach, or what ideas do you think are, of course, better? I don't have all the answers. Like I said, I'm willing to learn from you. So I'm not here to only tell you what to do. I'm also here to let you know that I'm willing to learn from you, and I'm willing to build a network of people willing to learn from each other and grow with each other. And at the end of this video, you would also see my link tree. There's also my podcast on Spotify. You can follow it. There too, we talk about business, but then it's a more personal space where we talk about business and personal life. So you can follow me on Spotify, Benny's Hub as well. And you can also find us on Instagram, Nuggets by Benny. So all these pages and all these platforms are linked for the same purpose, upskilling through knowledge and information. There's also the blog, which you see on the link tree. You can click on it. Sorry about that. You can click on it and you see the blog as well. But we're on almost every platform trying to reach out. I would say we, because I'm not alone. I have a strong network of people behind me, helping me to help you, and helping me to ask you to help me. So I have those people behind me working with me daily, advising, telling me how the best way to reach out to you would be with different types of information or kinds of content. So I have those people in my space as well, and I would advise you to do the same. Nobody's an island. The more you seek, the more you find. So if you try to do everything on your own, you would make more mistakes, more costly mistakes, more really tough mistakes, things that would be very hard for you to deal with, and you don't want to find yourself in that place. So try and reach out to people. If you watched my previous video about getting proactive, especially with the COVID-19 and the lockdown that we're just easing off on, you have to now meet your customers, get proactive. So in the same vein, you have to also meet people in the same niche with you, or in the same space with you, people doing the same thing, either in implementation phase or those people who already have implemented and have success stories. Don't do this alone. You don't have to. You can always reach out on my link tree. You can always click on the Let's Connect button and we can chat. I can share resources I know. You can share with me if you have any. You can talk about how you would like to connect. We can have our Zoom sessions together. There are other women willing to do the same. So don't be a stranger. Stay close to the information on the internet, and please beware of liars. There are many liars. Seriously, beware of liars. Beware of wrong information as much as you can. Sift through everything. Sift through everything. Don't assume that because someone knows how to speak well, because they're eloquent in English, because they just talk and talk and talk, means they're doing the same with numbers. That's why I said don't just look up to one person. Spread your tentacles. Open your ears. Open your eyes. Get more vigilant and get proactive, and you see there are also many platforms on Facebook, amazing Facebook groups for women entrepreneurs. There are many of them like that, so you should be willing to go through them as well. That way you can also build your network, build your social media following, build your marketing for your products and services. So with everything being said, thank you once again for joining me on Benny's Hub. Do have yourself a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. And as I said, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell. You can hit the like video and make sure you watch till the end. All other videos, watch till the very end so you can learn. And also comment down below and tell me what you think. Alright, bye.
It's time. The world will not stop spinning. The clock won't stop ticking. Days won't stop slipping by. It's time. Things won't suddenly get easier. The difficulty does not remove itself. The path does not narrow. It's time. That perfect moment, it doesn't exist. A flawless beginning is fiction. The stars will never align for you. It's time. Not tomorrow, not someday down the road, but this very second. See, you don't need all the answers. You don't need to know or be sure or be armed with guarantees. Your job, your only requirement is to begin. It's time to trade fear for opportunity. Someday for right now. It's time to stop thinking small, stop seeing what you want as a reach, to stop looking at success as a stranger. It's time to sit down and convince yourself that what you want can be accomplished when it's as real as the space in front of you, when it's as probable as the completion of a single step. It will happen because it has to. It's time. At some point, you have to see that you're not simply playing conservatively. You're not being a perfectionist. It's not about being okay with where you are. No, if we're going to get anywhere, let's be truthful. Let's call it what it is. These things, these ideas, these excuses are a derivative of fear. The problem with possibility is that it's incredibly hard to quantify. Technically, if you've never had it, you've never lost it. And that is how we rationalize staying where we are. That's why we compartmentalize the things we want most as dreams. But for a second, let's be bigger. Let's start from the premise that what life can provide or become is limitless. It is truly infinite. And when you sit on an idea or you refuse to begin, you are in fact losing. Every single thing around you, everything, at one point it began. At one point, someone summoned the courage to reach out and take what's in front of them. Maybe you do the same. Maybe you take that step. Maybe the first few times go terribly wrong. Maybe it's terrifying. Maybe you find out who has your back, who your real friends are, and maybe those truths scare you. But guess what? Guess what those steps turn into? Confidence, amplified purpose, and most importantly, more steps. You get to see right in front of you as your demons diminish, evaporate. The higher you climb, the better the view, the longer the road, the greater the experience. I would rather fall 1,000 times and continuously get back up stronger than be someone who looks at the world through a window like it's some fairy tale. Because at the end of the day, sure, they have no scratches, scrapes, or bruises, but I have no limits, and I'd make that trade any day. It is time to stop separating what you want from what you have and take that step forward. It's time to go get it. No one is stopping you. Nothing is stopping you. And in fact, if you choose to be, you are unstoppable. So take a look in the mirror, lace up your shoes, open the door, and begin. It's time. Reality is the existence of two entities. Those who create change and those who merely react to it. And so I've wondered what separates the one from the many. What differentiates a fleeting moment from a chapter in a history book? See, I think we all come to a point where we look up and we see no top to the wall we seek to climb. We look down and see the water rising at our feet with every breath. We look to our left and see those who are where we want to be tomorrow. And we look to our right and see the trail of decisions we love to take back from yesterday. This is where most create their limiting narrative, where most succumb to the world around them, but most is not all. And every soul eventually comes to find that it was shaped not by sunny days or easy roads, but by walking to the edge of the only world it's ever known and daring to risk the normalcy to which it's accustomed. Because our appearance in the light is the manifestation of what we do in the shadows when we're alone, fighting the little battles. Greatness isn't just a different level of results. It's a whole new set of rules. And the monumental task in front of you is the culmination of a battle that's already been fought thousands and thousands of times. It's been won or lost over and over again. Every time you decide to stand apart instead of follow the crowd, decide to flourish instead of just survive, decide to lead instead of follow, build instead of conform, when you endure, it's because you've decided that you are different, not in that moment, but every single day leading up to that point. This is not a reinvention. It's living out who you already chose to be. So the wall is high, you will climb because it's what you do. So the water rises, you will swim because it's who you are. So the people to your left have succeeded, there is always room at the top, and you will claim yours. So you failed in the past, good, because falling then means you endure now, and so you will. There's a quote attributed to Heraclitus on the realities of soldiers in battle. He says, look, out of every 100 men, 10 shouldn't even be there. 80 are just targets. 9 are the real fighters, and we are lucky to have them, for they make the battle. But the one is the warrior. And he will bring the others back.